Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever it is for you. In today's video, I want to talk about my experience after drawing 1 hour daily for 100 days, and my recommendations to the people who want to get better at art. Being more specific, I'm going to talk about what things are worth to practice, and what things you should consider during your art growth. So this is more of a guide rather than a tutorial. I will leave timestamps in the description if you want to search for a specific topic. That being said, let's begin. Before talking about the things I recommend, I will start talking about this challenge and why I did it. The idea came from two things that were happening. One is that I had lots of stuff and couldn't keep up with my own content. And the other is the fact that I never studied art properly, at least from my point of view. So I decided that I wanted to practice better, but also wanted to keep the account alive. So this challenge came to mind. Having only 1 hour daily, I tried my best. Now, if I recommend the challenge or not, I think it's worth it. You can start with less days if you want. It maintains consistency both in your art growth and art account if you have one. The thing you have to keep in mind is the pressure you might feel. Prepare it better than I did to avoid feeling lost and without motivation midway. Most of the stuff I talk about later were recommendations that I learned during this challenge, not before. And because of that, I had some days where I didn't do enough or didn't know what to do. So that's basically everything I could say about this. Now we are going to start with the important part of the video. The first topic I want to talk about is about your purpose. Why do you want to draw in the first place? This is a simple question, but it's important to understand why you are doing all of this and your plans for the future. Many people learn stuff that they are never going to use. Learning art is an infinite journey, so you have to check the parts that matters the most for you. That means if you want to become a comic creator, you should learn character design, for example. If you want to learn animation, search how to animate. If you learn how to do amazing characters but you want to work as a background designer, then most of that knowledge doesn't apply to your own belief. And that's the point I want to make. Now, with something more tangible, observation skills. Lots of artists don't try to get good observational skills, or don't try enough. But this is a key for success, allowing you to simplify and draw anything you want. Could be a human, could be a horse, could be a car. If you have a good reference and a good observation, you can draw anything. Try practicing by doing lots of simple shapes and try to apply them with complex stuff, making the hard things a lot easier. In relation with the observation skills, I want to talk about references, a topic that somehow many people still get wrong, because references are a fundamental part when drawing, especially when practicing. The brain needs information to work. Without the information from the references, you're going to draw what you believe is the correct thing, and not what it really is the correct thing. And no, references are not cheating. The only case in which it can be considered cheating is when you are tracing a drawing without giving credits and saying it's yours. But tracing 3D models just as a structure and then making the character by your own, or using real images and seeing them while you are drawing, it's not cheating. Another key is the fundamentals. Perspective, values, color theory, and all of that. It's something really important. Normally, this is the first thing that you should practice, along with the observation skill. But don't distract yourself into doing a lot of fundamentals at the same time. Start thinking more like, I'm going to practice perspective for this amount of days or for this week. Then I will go with values, etc. Because then you become a mess and your brain won't save any information. And you also need to have fun. This is a long journey, so if you try to practice a lot, you're in the way to burn yourself. And at a certain point, you're going to hate art. You have to apply your knowledge. So, after you practice enough, try to make something out of it. The days you feel stuck, lost, or don't want to do anything, at least try to doodle. It is better than nothing. You can get more time off your schedule than you think. Along with your growth, I want you to track your progress. And with that comes saving all of your drawings. Believe me when I say that checking your old drawings can make a huge emotional support. To feel better with yourself. The nostalgia it gives is important, not forgetting the fact that it allows you to see if you really improve. Don't destroy any of your drawings. If you can keep them, do it. Finally, I want to talk about the tutorial loop. Something that happens to a lot of beginners is to keep checking tutorials over and over again without applying everything correctly. If you want to improve, it's much better if you start drawing. Watching how to do things instead of doing them are going to harm your progress. So keep trying, and yeah, you can check tutorials, but the ones that explain everything correctly or at least give you something clear enough. And not many of them. Limit the amount of tutorials you are going to see. Put them in practice, and once it is completely on your mind, you can go to the next one. That's really everything I wanted to say. I hope any of the things I said were useful to at least someone.